Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something totally mind-bending. We're going to bridge the literal origins of the universe, the Big Bang, with a super practical guide for finding peace in your everyday life. If you've been craving some clarity or a way to excel in a world that is just full of doubts and struggles, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're taking the ancient wisdom of the Upanishads and chapter 17 of the Bhagavad Gita, lining it all up with modern science and turning it into an actionable plan. I know. It sounds like a massive leap. What could the explosion that started the cosmos possibly have to do with your daily peace of mind? I mean, the universe expanding is one thing, but your inbox expanding is the real crisis, right? But what if the literal blueprint for escaping our modern burnout was written thousands of years ago, using the exact same underlying concepts we're now finding in quantum mechanics and cosmology? As we'll see, the macrocosm and the microcosm are completely intertwined. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The Big Bang and Om. 2. The science of three gunas. 3. Navigating our modern struggles. 4. The power of Tat Sat. And 5. The art of living peacefully. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the Big Bang and Om, cosmic origins. So modern science tells us the universe started as this unimaginably dense singularity that rapidly expanded. But here's what's incredible. This perfectly mirrors the ancient Rig Veda's concept found in the Nasadiya Sukta. They called this pre-creation state avyakta, meaning the unmanifest. It's the state of pure, undifferentiated potential. It literally mirrors what physicists call the Planck epoch, that tiny fraction of a second before space and time as we know them even existed. It's wild. And these ancient mappings aren't just poetic metaphors, they're profound tools for understanding reality. Take the Mandukya Upanishad. It describes progressive states of consciousness, from the physical world we see all the way down to the subtle and causal realms. This maps perfectly onto how classical physics handles the observable universe, while quantum mechanics handles the subtle, probabilistic stuff. It even touches on concepts like the observer effect, showing how consciousness and matter are fundamentally tangled up at the deepest levels. According to the ancient texts, before creation, everything existed without vibration. But then, a primordial vibration started the cosmic dance. Swami Vivekananda actually described this beautifully as the very first beat of the cosmic drum. Ancient seers called this foundational, unstruck sound, Om. You've probably heard of it, but think about it. It's the mother sound of the universe. It's the subtle wave from which all matter and energy ultimately cascade. Okay, moving right along to section 2, the science of three gunas and how these act as the forces of nature. Sankhya philosophy breaks all of existence down into 3 primary forces. They call them gunas. And guys, they map flawlessly to physical properties in science. You've got sattva, which is order and symmetry, rajas, which is energy and motion, and tamas, which is inertia and mass. These are not just abstract spiritual ideas. They are literally the fabric of nature. Which brings us to section 3, navigating our modern struggles, focusing on the gunas in you. Because remember the old rule, as above, so below. You are a microcosm of those exact same cosmic forces. When you feel that totally exhausting need to constantly hustle, perpetually running but getting nowhere, you're trapped in a state of rajas. That's too much uncontrolled energy. On the flip side, feelings of deep lethargy or ignorance are manifestations of tamas, heavy inertia. Our ultimate goal in daily life is to cultivate sattva, which is what brings mindfulness, inner clarity, and lasting peace. So, how do we actually cultivate that peace? Let's get into section 4, the power of Tat Sat, our metaphysical dictionary. Chapter 17 of the Bhagavad Gita gives us this incredibly powerful, actionable framework, and it's encapsulated in the phrase Om Tat Sat. Let's break down exactly what this means, because it's an amazing toolkit for clarity. We've established that Om is the primordial vibration that birthed the universe. By uttering Om, we are actively connecting our tiny, immediate actions right back to that very first frequency of the Big Bang, acknowledging the ultimate unmanifest source. Then we have the word Tat, literally translating to that. This represents a supreme state of detachment. Now, this doesn't mean not caring. It's about doing the hard work, at your job, with your family, but stepping back from the ego-driven obsession with getting all the credit or controlling the outcome. It's a reminder to act for a much higher purpose. And finally, Sat means eternal virtue, reality, and goodness. When you perform an act purely for the sake of goodness itself, without any ulterior motive, you are acting in the realm of Sat. So Om is the origin, Tat is the selfless effort, and Sat is the pure goodness of the act. Together, Om Tat Sat literally sanctifies our actions. Chapter 17 of the Gita applies Om Tat Sat directly to our daily habits, specifically guiding how we practice austerity and charity. But there's a secret ingredient here. The revelation that makes it all work is Shraddha. It's often just translated as faith, but Shraddha is actually a deep intellectual conviction and laser focus. It's the true driving motivation behind everything you do. Notice how true austerity is defined here. We almost always think of austerity as self-torture, right? Giving up everything you love. But the Gita says true mental austerity is actually serenity of mind, good-heartedness, and self-control. And when you practice that with deep conviction, with Shraddha, and you truly don't expect a reward, it becomes a sattvic action, bringing profound peace to your life. The exact same rule applies to charity. Giving a gift at the right time and place to a worthy person purely out of a sense of duty and expecting absolutely nothing in return, that is sattvic charity. It aligns you perfectly with cosmic order. If you give grudgingly just to get something back, that's rajasic. And if you give with insult or contempt, that's tamasic. The intention literally changes everything. On the flip side, the Gita warns us about asat. Any action, no matter how generous or disciplined it looks on the outside, if it's done without genuine faith just for show or out of foolishness, it is completely void of spiritual value. Without faith, action is asat. It's empty. It brings zero lasting benefit to your mind here or hereafter. Let's pull all of this together in Section 5, The Art of Living Peacefully, Your Action Plan. All right, here is your toolkit to excel in a life full of doubts and struggles. First up, act with deep conviction, or shraddha, in everything you do. Second, strive to align your daily habits with the clarifying order of sattva. Third, practice giving without expecting returns. And finally, cultivate the witness perspective. Observe your stressful thoughts without letting them control the steering wheel. Just as modern physicists discuss string theory, where the universe is a symphony of vibrating strings, ancient traditions saw reality as a continuous pulse. By aligning yourself with sattva and invoking Om Tat Sat, you aren't just calming your mind, you are quite literally harmonizing your personal energy with the foundational frequency of the universe itself. Always remember the powerful Upanishadic phrase, Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. You are not just a stressed-out body or a constantly anxious mind. At your core, you are a direct reflection of this boundless universal consciousness. You have the inherent ability to tap into the sattvic peace that has existed since the literal dawn of time. As we reflect on all of this, consider how the universe began with perfect, unified order from a single state of unmanifested potential. Everything around us, the macro and the micro, is intrinsically connected by that very first beat of the cosmic drum. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder. If the cosmos itself is a beautifully harmonious dance, born from a single vibration, are your daily actions echoing that cosmic peace, or are you just adding to the noise? Keep exploring these profound connections, start aligning your own vibration today, and I'll see you next time.